Participating restaurants.
Blog Talk Radio.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. You are listening to That Conspiracy Podcast. I am your host, Randall Stevens. I hope everybody's doing well. It is Saturday, the 16th of February, 2019. You are listening to That Conspiracy Podcast on Blog Talk Radio. I'd like to thank everybody for listening, and I'd also like to thank Blog Talk Radio for having such a convenient, user-friendly website. So, that Conspiracy Podcast, we will be covering pretty much what it says in the title, podcast about conspiracies. You know, there's plenty of them. There seems to be more and more every day. And we're going to hit today with the mother of all conspiracies. We're going to hit some JFK assassination conspiracy. It's one of the larger ones out there, unsolved. Many people think it is solved. And basically, the Warren Commission concluded that Lee Harvey Oswald was the only person responsible for assassinating Kennedy. But there was many other people, groups, secret societies perhaps, that wanted to be there on November 22nd, 1963 in Dallas, Texas. And as we all know, Lee Harvey Oswald was assassinated coming out of the jail. Sorry if you can hear some screaming in the background of the little children. But anyways, the conspiracy about JFK, I've heard many different versions. I remember Governor Jesse Ventura had a show a few years back, and he, I think, actually tried to get up on a crane about the same distance and try and shoot the exact same way that they say Lee Harvey Oswald did, with the same exact rifle. And I believe that he couldn't do it. He said it seemed impossible to him. And I believe he was a Navy SEAL, so he did have military training. He'd probably shot rifles his entire life. He's from Minnesota. They hunt, they fish. So I'm not saying he's Chris Kyle or anything, but Jesse's a trained military man, and he could not accomplish that task. So that leads you to believe maybe we aren't being told the truth. And they also talk or listen to William Cooper, the late William Cooper. He has a lot of YouTube videos. I think he wrote a book, Behold the Pale Horse. And he had seen a version of the Zapruder film. If you don't know the Zapruder film, I don't know his exact name, but Zapruder was there with his camera filming the motorcade, you know, whether you like him or hate him. If you see a presidential motorcade, it's pretty spectacular to see. I remember seeing Bush Jr. in Loveland Fort Collins Airport, where I worked in Colorado at the time. I wasn't a big fan of the Bushes, but it was pretty cool to see the motorcade. So anyway, the Zapruder was there filming, and he pretty much got it all. I mean, you need to go look that up, YouTube it. But what William Cooper was saying, allegedly, and I mean, who knows, this is crazy to even fathom this with the way videos could be doctored and everything. You never know what's real and what's not. the way people can edit stuff now, and I've seen AI create fake faces that look like real humans, and they're people that don't exist. But what he was saying is that it appeared in the video that the driver of the vehicle, Secret Service man, actually turned around and he fired one of the shots. Now it seems a little there considering you'd have all those people in the car. But, I mean, what do I know? I'm born in the 70s, so this is way before my time. I just find it fascinating, though, that the president was assassinated and they had the perfect fall guy or patsy. And it was pretty much the people who were on the Warren Commission were pretty much the future. You know, they were all went on to go high places after that. Just makes you wonder. And I've also heard another conspiracy about this one. I don't remember where I heard this one from, but that there were actually 7 hitmen hired for the day. It was like called the big event. And allegedly what I heard was that one of the 6 or 7 shooters, I guess they really wanted to make sure they did the job. And that's where it kind of falls out for me, because 6 or 7 shooters, how would you get all those guys to fire on the same time and not have it? You know, you'd have to hear the sound and everything from different areas. But he said that one of the shooters was allegedly the actor Woody Harrelson's father. And so this is this is where we get conspiracy. It's why we call it that conspiracy podcast, because not necessarily believe everything we hear or what we say. We're just putting it out there. I mean, who knows? Maybe there was a magic bullet. Or maybe there wasn't. You were listening to that conspiracy podcast on blogtalkradio.com. We're our new podcast starting out, as you can probably tell. But we'll keep cranking out the episodes. JFK is like the tip of the iceberg. Of course, we have 9/11, Gulf of Tonkin, USS Liberty, and the list goes on and on and on. JFK kind of changes everything. Another reason they say that JFK was assassinated, that he wanted to print money backed by silver or gold, basically putting the Federal Reserve on notice. And as we see today in 2019, the Federal Reserve makes a move left or right, the market goes up and down drastically. If they go raise too much in the interest rates, everyone starts losing their money. But there's been no interest for 10 years now, 15 years. You don't make any money anymore like you used to. Put money in the bank and you make money on it. Could have been someone connected to the Federal Reserve. We've heard the mafia, right? Heard the story of the mafia supporting his brother, and as soon as his brother became AG, I'm not sure if he was AG, but I know he was the prosecuting attorney. He went after some of the bootleggers and all that, and went after the mob and crushed them. You know, they had a price to pay. I don't know, it's just really scary how they can pull this off. And blame one guy. And I don't know, was it Jack Ruby who shot? Let me look at that to make sure so I make sense of what I'm saying here. Is Jack Ruby the dude who shot Oswald? Sorry, guys. Yeah, Jack Ruby. Fatally shot Lee Harvey Oswald on November 24th, 1963, while Oswald in police custody. So the famous video where you can see Oswald like, oh, taking a bullet, and this guy, Jack Ruby. See here, Dallas jury found him guilty of murdering Oswald. He was sentenced to death. It was later appealed and he was granted a new trial. November 3rd, 67. Date for the new trial came. Sounded like Ruby might become a songbird and start singing a little bit. He became ill in his prison cell. Died of a pulmonary embolism. Sorry. It's been a long day. Went to the dentist. A little numb, which isn't too good, and lung cancer. Sudden, fast spreading. Interesting. Very, very interesting. Good old Jack Ruby. And then there's also the conspiracy of the two bodies of JFK. I think Lee Harvey Oswald was, they accused him, we'll say, of shooting a Dallas police officer. After he shot JFK, didn't he go to the movie theater? And I guess they found out who he was. J.D. Tippit was a Dallas police officer. But like after he shot it, then he went into the movie theater and he was arrested. And it's really funny, if you look up J.D. Tippit, he kind of looks like JFK. Just kind of one of those weird coincidences, I guess. Let's see, click on it. A little bit. I don't know. Why it's called a conspiracy theory, I guess. And as you know, conspiracy theory is pretty much been shot down by mainstream media and everybody else. All like the elite don't get together and can conspire to rule the world and make more money. It happens at your local country club if you don't think it's happening in Washington or in Moscow or in Beijing. I mean, it's happening. It is happening. Yep. JFK. Good old JFK. We'll read a little bit here. The assassination of the United States President John F. Kennedy in Dallas, Texas, November 22nd, 1967, has spurred numerous conspiracy theories, which include accusations of involvement of the CIA, the Bushes, Daddy Bush, the Mafia, like I said, his brother, after the Mafia, sitting Vice President Lyndon B. Johnson. Johnson wanted the presidency. Allegedly, Johnson used to pick up his beagles by their ears, so anyone who does that to a dog, you know where you won't stand on my list. Then we had good old Fidel Castro wanted him taken out. We had a little skirmish. In the KGB, of course, we got Russian collusion ever since the beginning of time. And real quick, everybody, you're listening to That Conspiracy Podcast on Blog Talk Radio. It's a live call-in. You can call in at 310-742-1853. That's 310-742-1852. Any comments on JFK, or I'll take any callers. So we say, KGB, we'll say some conspiracy theories further claim that the U.S. federal government covered up crucial information in the aftermath of the assassination. which turned out to be true regarding the CIA mafia plots to kill Fidel Castro. 64, and so it sold that. Warren Commission, they all concluded. Now let's look up the members of the Warren Commission. And the worldwide wiretap. I have to thank the Hawk for that one. www. Worldwide wiretap. The Hawk. If you don't listen to the Hawk, then you better ask somebody. Okay, we have the Warren Commission, established by LBJ, executive order. Okay, let's see who the members are. One moment. As I said, I was born in 75, so I don't know all these people. So we got Earl Warren. He must have been like the chairman of the committee. Warren. Richard Russell Jr., John Sherman Cooper, Hale Boggs, and we had Gerald Ford. We all know what he went on to do. Alan Welsh Dulles. And we know Dulles Brothers and the airport named after them, and their deathbed confession from a Dulles, another conspiracy. We had John McCoy. So the chairman was Earl Warren. Richard Russell Jr. was a Democrat from Georgia. John Sherman Cooper was a Republican from Kentucky. Hale Boggs was a Democrat, Louisiana. Gerald Ford, Republican, Michigan. Alan Welsh Dulles, who's a former director of the Central Intelligence and head of the Central Intelligence Agency from what? That can't be right. And then we had John McCoy, former president of the World Bank. Oh, that's pretty good. That's pretty good right there. Oh, Marty. Wow. That's pretty good. Like I said, if he wants to make some money backed by silver, backed by gold, no, you're not going to do that. I wonder if they warned him. I wonder if they said, hey, bub, you're stepping on some toes here, bub. You don't want to be doing that. We're going to have to park your car. Yeah, that's pretty rich right there. So hearings were, let's see, misconceptions about the Warren Commission hearing needed to be clarified. Hearings were closed to the public unless the witness appearing before the commission requested an open hearing. No witness except one requested an opening hearing. Second, although the hearing except one were conducted in private, they were not secret. In a secret hearing, the witness is instructed not to disclose his testimony to any third party. Blah, 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 blah. Wow. And then not soon after, they got his brother. Even though you hear a lot of talk about how Kennedy was on pills and he was unfaithful, and he was basically all over all the ladies in the White House, allegedly. I mean, for him to be whacked like that, he had to been up to doing some good for the American people, because it seems to me, especially today with the president in 2019, if he wants to do some good for the American people, he's going to have serious resistance. It's pretty sad. Pretty sad. JFK, if you listen to some of his speeches, man, it was amazing. Especially he was talking about one with the media and the responsibility that they had. Let's see here if I can find it. Sorry, folks. Favorite problems, of course. All right. See if we can hear it. We don't want to hear that, do we? No, we don't.
Remarks of the President to the American Newspaper Publishers Association. Waldorf Astoria Hotel, New York City, April 27, 1961. Mr. Chairman, ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate very much your generous invitation to be here tonight. You bear heavy responsibilities these days, and the article I read some time ago reminded me of how particularly heavily the burdens of present-day events bear upon your profession. You may remember that in 1851, the New York Herald Tribune, under the sponsorship and publishing of Horace Greeley, employed as its London correspondent an obscure journalist by the name of Karl Marx. We were told that foreign correspondent Marx, stone broke, and with a family ill and undernourished, constantly appealed to Greeley and managing editor Charles Dana for an increase in his munificent salary of $5 per installment, a salary which he and Engels ungratefully labeled as the lousiest petty bourgeois cheating. But when all his financial appeals were refused, Marx looked around for other means of livelihood and fame, eventually terminating his relationship with the Tribune and devoting his talents full-time to the cause that would bequeath to the world the seeds of Leninism, Stalinism, revolution, and the Cold War. If only this capitalistic New York newspaper had treated him more kindly. If only Marx had remained in foreign correspondence another country, demanded recently that our State Department repudiate certain newspaper attacks on his colleague. On the other hand, I realize that your staff and wire service
That's a good speaker.
I refer first to the need for far greater public information, and second, to the need for far greater official secrecy. The very word secrecy is repugnant in a free and open society, and we are, as a people, inherently and historically opposed to secret societies, to secret oaths, and to secret proceedings. We decided long ago that the dangers of excessive and unwarranted concealment of pertinent facts far outweigh the dangers which are cited to justify it. Even today, there is little value in opposing the threat of a closed society by imitating its arbitrary restrictions. Even today, there is little value in ensuring the survival of our nation if our traditions do not survive with it. And there is very grave danger that an announced need for increased security will be seized upon by those anxious to expand its meaning to the very limits of official censorship and concealment. That I do not intend to permit to the extent that it's in my control. And no official of my administration, whether his rank is high or low, civilian or military, should interpret my words here tonight as an excuse to censor the news, to stifle dissent, to cover up our mistakes, or to withhold from the press and the public the facts they deserve to know. But I do ask every publisher, every editor, and every newsman in the nation to re-examine his own standards and to recognize the nature of our country's peril.
Hey, Ben, That statement right there stands so true today as well. It's priceless, timeless.
In time of war, the government and the press have customarily joined in an effort based largely on self-discipline to prevent unauthorized disclosures to the enemy. In times of clear and present danger, the courts have held that even the privileged rights of the First Amendment must yield to the public's need for national security. Today, no war has been declared. And however fierce the struggle may be, it may never be declared in the traditional fashion. Our way of life is under attack. Those who make themselves our enemy are advancing around the globe. The survival of our friends is in danger. And yet no war has been declared. No borders have been crossed by marching troops. No missiles have been fired. If the press is awaiting a declaration of war, before it imposes the self-discipline of combat conditions, then I can only say that no war ever posed a greater threat to our security. If you are awaiting a timing of clear and present danger, then I can only say that the danger has never been more clear, and its presence has never been more imminent. It requires a change in outlook, a change in tactics, a change in missions by the government, by the people, by every businessman or labor leader, and by every newspaper. For we are opposed around the world by a monolithic and ruthless conspiracy that relies primarily on covert means for expanding its sphere of influence, on infiltration instead of invasion, on subversion instead of elections, on intimidation instead of free choice, on guerrillas by night instead of armies by day. It is a system which has conscripted vast human and material resources into the building of a tightly knit, highly efficient machine that combines military, diplomatic, intelligence, economic, scientific, and political operations.
The deep swamp that we're talking about right there, the military-industrial complex. Got about 2 minutes left on that conspiracy podcast today, folks. So I just wanted to go over what I talked about earlier with Kennedy issuing money backed by silver or gold. I want to look it up. Executive Order 11110 on June 4th, 1963. Presidents gave the Secretary of the Treasury authority to issue silver certificates under the Thomas Amendment of the Agriculture Adjustment Act, as amended by the Gold Reserve Act. Secretary to issue silver certificates. Interesting. Very interesting. Kennedy was a great speaker for sure. He knew what was going on. If you listen to that speech, it sounds, it applies to today. Some of that about the media, letting the people know and then oppose the secret societies and free country. There should be no secrets and no closed-door meetings and private Warren Commission public hearings. Everything should be out in the public. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to thank you for joining us on this first edition of That Conspiracy Podcast on blogtalkradio.com. Thank you, Blog Talk. We're also going to get a YouTube channel, iTunes, Podbean, SoundCloud. Check us out all over. Blog Talk Radio is our hub. Thank you very much, everybody. Have a great Saturday night. Be safe and enjoy your weekend and have a great, productive week.
I ate a new burger from Carl's Jr. with a Beyond Meat patty. It was juicy, charbroiled, but with a patty made from plants. How's that even possible?
Wow. Powerful.
The Beyond Famous Star with Cheese. Only at Carl's Jr. Available for a limited time at participating restaurants.
Hi, it's Jamie, Progressive's #1, #2 employee. Leave a message at the... Hey, Jamie, it's me, Jamie. This is your daily pep talk. I know it's been rough going ever since people found out about your a cappella group, Mad Harmony, but you will bounce back. I mean, you're the guy always helping people find coverage options with the Name Your Price tool. It should be you giving me the pep talk. Now get out there, hit that high note, and take Mad Harmony all the way to nationals this year! Sorry, it's pitchy.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.